everybody, this is drawninjakc here once again with the Pocket Staff. Now I know you've seen the commercial for this on Instagram and Facebook, but you may still not know anything about it. You're wondering if you should buy it or not buy it. You're on the fence, you don't know because they don't really give you a lot of information about it on the commercial rather than the fact that it extends. Well, here are 10 things that you may not know about the Pocket Staff. Okay, so this thing is very popular, no question about it. But there's still things that you don't know about it, which may put you on the fence whether to buy it or not buy it. So let's start with one of the basic information about this thing because I went through the whole process of buying it and dealing with this thing and finding out the likes, dislikes, do's and don'ts, dangers, and weaknesses of this thing. So I think I'm pretty much qualified to tell you there are 10 things that you may not know. Let's start with the first one. First off, it ships from China. I know in the commercial you see a lot of people in a place that looks like America. You see a lot of Caucasian people swirling it around. Okay, you do see Asians as well. I won't fight that fact. But the fact that you see it all the time on Facebook, on Instagram, and you're living in the United States, you're thinking, okay, well, I can buy it. It'll be here in no time because it's in the United States. No, it's not in the United States. It is made in China, so it is also shipped from China. Okay? I got a box with Chinese writing in it, on it. So that's one of the reasons I know it was shipped from China. One of the reasons I knew it was shipped from China. So expect that when it's shipped from China, it's most likely made in China. And China is not really known for its quality in terms of gadgets. So if it's made in China, buyer beware. The second thing is it takes 2 months to come. And that simply has a lot to do with the fact that it's shipped from China. It's made in China, shipped from China, takes 2 months to come. And even when you're ordering it, they give you an option for expedited shipping. When I ordered this thing, they made it seem like it was shipping from the United States. They even gave me an option to do expedited shipping, which would make it come in 7 days as opposed to 12 to 24 days. I paid the $8 for the extra shipping, and it took 2 months to get here. So if you do order this thing, do not pay for the extra shipping, the expedited shipping, because whether it's for expedited shipping or regular shipping, they're going to send it regular mail anyway, because the package I got was regular mail. It didn't even say expedited shipping on it. The other thing, and I think this is one of the most important thing about this particular gadget, is that it does have a spring release mechanism. And that's how you open them. You basically have to push that part in, and then it releases that spring. And then once that spring is released, it flies open, just like that. So that spring, basically, the release of that spring is based on you pushing this little part that sticks out in. Now that's a brilliant little mechanism, only that there's one thing wrong with such a mechanism. This is what I'm talking about. You got it?
Yeah.
All right. That's right. When this thing hits the floor, it automatically flies open because it's very heavy. So when it falls down. The little part falls down. So when it falls down and pushes on this, it releases the spring mechanism automatically, and this thing flies open. So anybody standing around could get hurt. So if you're playing around, or your kid's playing around, or you're playing around and your kid is around, and this thing automatically drops, it can spring open and hurt somebody. Your kid, somebody, a stranger, even you. Okay, that is one of the most important thing about this little gadget here is that it can spring open when it hits the floor. Okay, number 4. This is not a weapon. All right, the gadget basically is the same kind of concept that you see the magicians use when they kind of like pluck a staff out of nowhere or pluck a magician's wand out of nowhere. It's the same concept. So that is not so much of a weapon, more as a novelty. But they are advertising it as a weapon, which is completely misleading. Because I can understand if a magician painted this black and added it to his stage performance, I could get that. I would say that would be a smart use of this thing. But to make people think that if you're attacked, you can whip it out and then start beating up the opponent and your assailant, your assailant is gonna look at you and laugh, and then take this from you, pick his teeth with it, and then beat your ass. So this is not a weapon. I guarantee you. So don't walk around with it thinking that you're big and bad because you got this little staff in your pocket. You're gonna get your ass kicked. Number 5 is this does have sharp edges. Now, I open and close this thing a lot. And just about every time I try to close it back, which involves me pressing against this particular side of it, which is very sharp, I get cut. I closed it back today. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't see it, but I got cut twice today. I think I've given a pound of flesh to this thing. So that is one of the things you have to be aware of, is that the edges are very sharp. And this is metal, man. This is very thin metal. So it's basically like you're pressing against somewhat of a dull knife or even a sharp knife. Okay, so be careful when closing it. Find a different way. Put gloves on to close it. A lot of times I put gloves on when I'm closing it because pressing against this end means you're going to get cut, my lad. Okay, this is almost needless to say, but number 6 is this is not a toy. Okay, so don't think that you're gonna buy your kid the coolest birthday present ever. If you're a good parent, you would not buy this for your kid ever. That's the coolest birthday present ever. Because this, although it's a cool gadget because it springs out of nowhere and everybody acts like Gambit from the X-Men or who's the other guy? Robin? Yeah. This is really cool, and it might be cool for like a Robin cosplay or a Gambit cosplay for somebody who is responsible. But there's no way that a kid should be handling this in any capacity. Okay? His parents shouldn't be handling this thing. So this is not a toy. It's not for your kid. It's hardly even for you, grown up. Okay, biggest warning ever. All right. Now this does have the sharp edge right here, which can cut you when you're closing it. But this edge right here, this thing can take out an eye easily. Matter of fact, I think that's the best way of defending yourself with this thing is that if you spring this on your assailant in his eye and he doesn't see it coming, he's done. His eye is gone. One of the things about this is that I think the only thing that I can say that this can be used as a self-defense weapon is for the surprise attack with the eye. If you're in the way of this little ball right here, I mean, if your eye is in the way of this ball right here, if you're in the way of the ball, like it hits your chest, you might get a little bruise, but that's not going to hurt you. But if this thing hits your eye coming out of that force, you're going to lose that eye. So no looking into it as you figure out how to open it. That's stupid. Okay, see, I can look into it because it's already open. So I can go like this. But if you're opening it, and if you're about to open it and you're like I can't see the string, dude, come on. All right. So be careful when opening it, and be careful about who you're messing around this thing with, because even if you're playing around with it and you poke somebody in their eye, it is sturdy enough to take an eye out. Now, if you do have this thing, and like I mentioned before, when I tried to close it, I sometimes cut myself. But there is a proper way to close this thing that's very effective. When I first got it, I used to cut myself a lot more because I really didn't know how to close it. There wasn't any science, and like I said, it never came with instructions. So you just kind of have to wing it. But I figured out a very brilliant way, and probably the only way to close this, and here's how. Basically, you have to expand. Because it is a spring, when you twirl it, it expands at the area you're twirling it. So when it expands, you push in on that expanded part. And then you keep doing that all the way to the end. You expand it, push in. Expand, push in. Expand, push in. Okay? Get your minds out of the gutter, okay? Number 9, this flimsy little gadget that's supposed to defend you from assailants bends and breaks when you hit somebody with it. Check this out. Okay, last but not least, this complicated little weapon that's supposed to defend you from all and every assailant on the battlefield does not come with, say it with me, man, instructions. Ta-da! Most dangerous thing in the world is ignorance. All right? And when you find a weapon, when you find a weapon like this, wouldn't you like to know how said weapon is supposed to operate or be used? Now, granted, I got mine, like I said, from China. I've seen this thing being sold all over the internet from different vendors. I'm sure they all get it from the same place in China. Yes, sir. I received this, opened the box, saw the little silver metal thing, but what I did not see, instructions. It did come with a piece of paper, written in Chinese. The paper was about that big, and it had Chinese writing on it, and a draw ninja, a picture that was drawn of the bow staff while it was compressed. So, no instructions. Would I recommend anybody to get this thing? No! I'm gonna basically just get rid of this thing because it's probably dangerous to even have it around my house. Like having this thing around my house is like a bomb waiting to go off. It's like I put it away, I hide it. Like I don't even want to see it unless I'm doing a video for it. Until next time, please subscribe. Please subscribe because I love it when people subscribe. You know that. Why are you not subscribing? Oh, thank you for subscribing. I saw that you just subscribed. Thank you. All right, everybody. This is drawninjakc. Out.